Welcome to today's social media marketing agency lesson. I want to talk about something that it's not always talked about when it comes to business, but in some ways it's the most important thing. So how to motivate yourself past your fears. I'm sure even if you're the most confident person in the world, anytime you start something new, if you're like me, you've got some fears. What if it doesn't work out? And let's talk for a second about how to reprogram your brain around that. Because if you want to get small businesses to pay you to $1,000 to $10,000 a month to manage their social media, their email marketing, their internet marketing, their website and all that, you're going to have a certain level of confidence that you can convey to people. So how do you get that confidence if you don't have, let's say, a ton of experience? Because one of the things I promised you in this program is that you don't have to have a lot of experience to start to make revenue and create revenue. So there is something about our brain when you want to reprogram it that you have to understand first. And that is the brain only understands what it directly sees, okay? And it thinks that's real. So for example, you could take the smartest person in the world, Stephen Hawking, Neil Tyson deGrasse, all these, physicists with high IQs. If you take them to a scary movie, they know logically that that movie is not real, but they still will jump. They'll jump because of the emotions, the music, and what's on the screen. And so what that means for you with the social media marketing agency is if you've never seen it done before, right, you are going to have a hard time generating belief. But if it's shown to you, and one of the reasons that I have people teaching here in the social media marketing agency, besides myself, is people who are actively running a social media and internet marketing agency and are making a lot of money. So you can see and have faith. So the first rule is you got to find some examples of people who are doing it. So make sure you're in the private Facebook group where people are posting their success stories. Make sure you're watching the other video lessons where I have other people teaching who have already done it before. And of course, you can base off my success. You can see that I've been able to use social media to create revenue for my different businesses. So that will also give you faith. Be sure you're reading biographies before you go to bed of successful people, not just in marketing, but in all areas, so that you could be showing your brain like a movie screen that success is possible, that it's being done all the time. Make sure you subscribe, to Entrepreneur Magazine. You can get that magazine. It's not very expensive. It's like, I don't know, 10, 20 bucks a year, a couple bucks a month, and invest that money. I don't have anything to do with entrepreneur.com, so the money didn't go to me, but I'm telling you, I invest a little bit of money in that to always be able to flip through articles and go, success is happening here. Success is happening here. And the more you do that, the lower your fear threshold will become. If you don't do that and you just try to operate on pure faith without seeing it, the odds are fear will begin to overcome you. Because remember, you're going to be going out to clients, and some of the first clients might say no to you. If you have that fear threshold up, very sensitive, way up here, that first person that says no might be enough to crumble your hopes and dreams. But if you believe it's true, like if I said to you, look, let's say you were in London right now, London, England, and I said to you, America exists, and you never heard the word America, you are not about to get on a plane and go there. Christopher Columbus is one of the first people who had the faith to go on a boat from the mainland in Europe because no one else had the faith because they hadn't seen it. Once Christopher Columbus went, or you could say the Vikings and some other people went before Christopher Columbus, but once the first explorers went and came back and told the story, then people's fear went down and America became colonized because thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands and eventually millions migrated to a place that someone else had been first. So the good news is in this program, you're not the first. People are making money doing social media, email, and internet marketing all around the world, young, old, all ages. You're going to meet some of them in this program, and you can read about some, and you can, get magazines and different articles like that. So that's kind of point number one. Keep success in front of you. Number two, learn the power of literally verbally reprogramming your mind. So this sounds crazy, and at first I didn't believe it, but I've become a big believer by just experimenting with it. So if you're a little bit cynical of this, just try it. It doesn't hurt to try. It's not illegal, immoral, expensive, or unethical to do this. Try every day. Now, if you work out in the morning, you can do it when you work out. You can do it when you stretch, if you do yoga. You can do it in the shower, sometimes good because there's no distractions. And I just like to go through to myself and say, like, I love the fact, like, if I was starting out a social media marketing agency as my first business, I would say in the shower to myself maybe 20, 30 times, I would just say, I love that my social media marketing agency is making $1,000 to $10,000 a month. Pick a number. I love that my social media marketing agency is making $6,000 a month. That's a good goal. $8,000 a month is 6 figures. And start saying, even before you have it. Now, it sounds a little corny, it sounds cheesy, but there's actual science behind this. There's been books written on it. Some people call it positive affirmations, some people call it positive incantation, whatever. I just call it reprogramming my brain verbally. And what happens is your brain can't always differentiate between reality and fiction. Just like it can't differentiate between fiction of a horror movie and the reality that you're safe in the theater. So when you start doing this to your brain, reprogramming it, instead of negatively reprogramming your brain, you're positively starting to make your brain believe. And here's why belief is important and why it's important to reprogram your brain. If you don't, you won't be able to survive through the adversity. So you have to, Muhammad Ali said he believed he was the greatest before he even was. And that's why he became maybe the greatest boxer of all time, right? He said, I believed I was the champion before I actually was. Now, I will warn you, don't be overly cocky. Don't say, I guarantee that my social media marketing agency, because there's been some research done. I just read some research actually this week that said overly optimistic people actually do worse than negative people. So if you think of where you want to be, the worst place at the very bottom is overly optimistic, according to statistics. In fact, overly optimistic people die younger than pessimists. So this is the worst, overly optimistic. Then above that, a little bit better, but still bad, is negative. People who always are looking at the dark side. And then what you're going to become up here is a realist. This is the place you want to be. And realistically, when you're reprogramming your brain, saying this to yourself, I'm excited, thank you that I got this. I'm grateful that I have this $8,000 social media marketing agency. You might say, well, Tai, that's not being a realist because you don't have it yet. But devil's advocate, and let me flip the other side. It's realistic that you could do it. It is not outside of the bounds of any rational person's mind to think you couldn't get 1 to 10 clients paying you $1,000 to $10,000 a month. That's so realistic in this modern world, especially because most small business owners know zero about social media, email, internet marketing, website optimization. And as you learn those and teach them, they're gonna pay you. The question is how quickly. For some of you, you're gonna find success in the first month, the first 4 months. Some of you, would take longer. I'd say a realistic goal, some people are gonna take 18 months, but that's not long. Unless you're 5 years old, you have the patience to stick to something for 18 months. You don't have to do it all day, every day, but you generate that belief, number one. Number two, you keep success in front of you. Number three, you're saying this to yourself every day. I think a good number is 30 times, 30 to 100 times. You just say, I love the fact that I have a 6-figure social media marketing agency. I love the fact that I have it. And you keep in mind that as you're saying it, you're not saying it from cockiness, you're saying it from realism, that this is a real goal and this is practical. You're not saying, I am so excited that I have a $100 million marketing agency. That's not realistic. That would be being overly optimistic. Eventually you might, but you have to build that over time. So be a realist. This is the place to be. Realists are successful. They're neither overly optimistic nor are they overly pessimistic. They're right in the sweet spot. And I want you to get in that perfect sweet spot of absolutely telling yourself you can have it verbally. And you need to do this at least 5 times a week. And you need to do it for this whole 4-month program. And I don't care if you're old and you think it's cheesy. Mark my words. I'm putting this in writing or verbally saying this right now. The people who go into this program, who follow what I'm saying in this specific lesson, are going to be the ones who have the positive testimonials at the end of getting clients and changing their life. And the people who say, nah, Tai, I don't need that, those are going to be the ones, the majority of them, who never get past first base. They don't hit any home runs. They quit before they even get started. So I want you to be one of those people. And it's not that hard. It doesn't cost any money. Do it in the shower. It's one of the best places. Do it when you jog. You can do it multiple times during the day. You can do it 3 times a day if you want, but no need to overdo it. You can't just do it in one day 1,000 times. It's better, like Bruce Lee said, he didn't fear the man who practiced 1,000 kicks. He feared the man who practiced 1 kick a day for 1,000 consecutive days. So it's better for you to just do this 1 time a day, but stick to it over the whole 4 months versus you going in and saying, I'm going to do it 1,000 times on day 1. And then you'll be like, wait, Tai, I don't see anything. I've found when I start doing positive affirmations, verbally reprogramming my brain, on average it takes 2 to 3 months to see any result at all. It's a little bit like working out with weights. A lot of people go to the gym. In fact, the average person who goes to the gym only goes for 1 month. And that's why gyms always try to get people to pay monthly, because they know people ain't coming back. If they charged them only when they showed up, gyms would make a lot less revenue. So they came up with this system where they're continually charging you, right? And that's because most people don't stick past 1 month. And I can tell you why. Because you go in the gym when you're out of shape, when you're overweight, when you don't have any muscles, you go in the gym, you could lift, and a lot of people overdo it the first couple of times they train. They go in for 3 hours. Guess what? 0 change in their body. You're better off to go to the gym just 2 to 3 times for 45 minutes a week to start out with and ramp up. Over 18 months, if you control your diet and stick to it, even at a moderate, even twice a week, is better than nothing. It's better than going a whole bunch up front and not any later. It's the same with this reprogramming your brain. It's gonna take 2 to 3 months. And that's why I created this program. I was thinking of making it as a 30-day social media marketing agency or a 60-day, but I realized most people need 2 to 4 months to see results. Now, some people go, no, Tai, I want results faster. In fact, I had, when I was opening up the test group for social media, I posted this screenshot of this guy on my Snapchat who wrote in and said, Tai, 4 months is too long. I want success now. And I wrote him back, if you have that mentality, you're too impatient to be successful. Like, he's not, he's the over-optimist. He's the lowest level of thinking, which is, I want it now, I'll have it. That's overly optimistic. Just because you start programming your brain now doesn't mean you're gonna get it tomorrow. In fact, my mom used to say, you can't undo 10 years of bad eating with 10 times at the gym. It's kind of proportional. So if you're watching this and you're 60 years old and you've been negative about your own potential for 40, 50, 60 years, it might take 18 months to reprogram your brain. If you're, relatively positive person, you might see results a little bit quicker, but it's proportional to how far away you are from the right mindset. And mindset is everything. I can show you everything that I know about social media, and I'm going to show you that. But I can't change your mindset. And the way I think about it is like Ferrari. In fact, this is the Rolls-Royce sent me this when I got a Rolls-Royce. It's no idea why. It's the heaviest paperweight ever. But this Rolls-Royce here has everything it needs to be successful. But there's no fuel in it, it doesn't go anywhere. And there's no driver in it. If it has the fuel but no driver, doesn't go anywhere. Your brain is the driver here. And this program is the Rolls-Royce. The program works if you implement it. Okay? So, like I said, some people are going to make a ton of money. Some people are just going to make decent money. I'm not over-promising. But it's got to have a driver that has their eyes open and can see clearly. And so a lot of people's lives is like this Rolls Royce, but because of the fact that they don't keep success in front of them, they don't know how to reprogram their mind, they are like a driver who's blind. And a blind driver is worse than no driver at all. And it goes and crashes. And you look at most people's life, it's one lack of success, one failure after another failure. To remove the blinders from your eyes as the driver of this social media marketing agency Rolls Royce quote unquote concept, you're going to have to be able to see clearly. And to see clearly, you're a realist. To be a realist, you're going to keep success in front of you. You're going to read magazines. You're going to read books. You're going to keep being actively involved in the program. You're going to look at the emails we send out. You're going to look at the testimonials. You're going to go to the Facebook fan page, keep success, and all those things slowly, 2, 3, 4 months, begin to drop the scales from your eyes, and you become like my mentor, Joel Salatin, when he was out here earlier this year. He just came to me, and first thing he said, I hadn't seen him in a while, he said, Tai, you know what I was thinking about in the airplane? And I was like, what? He goes, I don't know how people sleep with all the opportunities there are in the world. You see, the blinders are off his eyes. When he looks at the world, he sees all the realistic, he's very much a realist, he's a farmer, very much a realist. He realistically sees this amazing world we live in. Most people don't. You go to the media, you go to the news, you talk to politicians, you think we're in the worst time ever. You know, there's less murders now than there's ever been in the history of humans. If you lived 700 years ago, the odds of you being murdered is like 1 out of 5 if you're a guy. You know, if you're a woman, 50% of women died from childbirth. Everything's better. Health-wise, career-wise, you've never had 24-year-olds becoming billionaires like Evan Spiegel from Facebook, from Snapchat, and Zuckerberg. You've never seen that. You know, you've never seen women. You've never seen black president. This is the time. The Rolls Royce is there. The world is your oyster. Not everybody has the same potential. Not everybody here is going to make a $10 million agency or a $1 million agency. Some people have more capacity. Einstein's smarter than me. No matter how hard I worked and did positive affirmations, I'm not going to be as smart as Einstein. But the good news is, not everybody needs the same results to get happy. Warren Buffett said he's only happy if he has $20 billion in cash in the bank, can only sleep good at night. Well, guess what? I don't need 20 billion to be happy. So he has the capacity to make 20 billion, but he needs that to satisfy his threshold of happiness. You might only need 8 grand a month. You know, some of you only just want some part-time income, 1 or 2 grand a month while you do your other career. And so that's realistic. That will happen. So remember, say to yourself, 30 times a day, 5 days a week. Can you say it back to me? I'm going to put it as, this is a homework, what you want to say. Write down below and write out your specific goals because you want it to be specific. So it should be something like this. If you can use your own words. But remember, you got to pretend you have it before you have it. So you have to say, what I usually say is, I love, that's how I start it, I love my 6-figure social media marketing agency. I love the fact that I'm making 6 figures with my own social media marketing agency. If you can tweak it a little bit, you can say, I love that I'm making, if you only want to make $1,000 a month, I love that I'm making $1,000 a month with my social media marketing agency. I love that I'm making $6,000 a month. I love that I have 5 clients paying me $1,500 each. So that's a great way to do it. So right below what your positive affirmation is going to be about this. Be very specific. Say social media marketing agency. Start it with I love, and then put in your number and your goals. You could add things like, I love the fact that I'm making 6 figures with my own social media marketing agency and have the freedom now to travel 2 months out of the year to Europe. You can put in extra things like that. Don't make it too long. It shouldn't be a paragraph, but it doesn't need to be super short. Okay, leave that. That will complete today's lesson. Don't forget this lesson. This is maybe the most important one of all. Okay? Talk to you soon.